I'm going to call this meeting to order. It is 11 a.m. Would all rise for the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. We'll move on to the approval of the agenda. If you guys have reviewed that, looks like we have a resolution on the quarry 24-09, another resolution 032025A to install a stop sign in the New Bern Township. Then in other business, we have the approval of Dickinson County Solid Waste Management Plan. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All those in favor? Oh, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. I don't know what my grandpa got. Moving on to consent agenda. The minutes of March 13th meeting, you'll have provided in your packet if you'll review that. Accounts payable is at $204,436.09. We had hand checks going out for $3,834. Utilities wire for $11,038.66. Credit cards wire for $28,280.80. Security wire for $4,674, and abated tax of $186.84.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second that motion. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving on to commissioner comments, commissioner and committee reports. Ron, why don't we start with you? Do you have any reports?
Just real quickly, appreciate the little bit of moisture we got. Hope we get some more. It's awful dry out there. We all need to be a little careful. And of course, we know there's a lot of sickness going around the county. We all need to be a little careful about that. That's all I've got.
Commissioner Peterson?
We had a Central Kansas Mental Health Board meeting, and that took place. And on a Monday, yeah, excuse me.
Sorry, Glenn.
So anyway, we had our board meeting and kind of reviewed some budget things that are coming up and some of the requests that will come forth to the county later. And of course, that's one that's by the legislature. Dickinson County, along with other counties, are directed to be in support and help financially with mental health. And so that's something we'll have come up on. Not necessarily a county, no, but it is indirectly. I had some guests come in on a couple days ago and made a trip up to the Sealy Mansion and then went to one of the eating establishments later. But, you know, to have them come in and they'd always seen that mansion, thought it'd be fun to go through it, but also the comment they had, and they enjoyed that completely, and they're from out of town. One down in Johnson County, that's clear down in Stanton County, down in the very, very southwest part of the state. And then the other was closer from McPherson County, but they made the comment, you know, we need to get back here because there's so much more to do in Abilene and so much to see. And I think they're making reference to the Eisenhower Library, but just kind of the reminder of how much money and tourism and such that we have in the area, and that helps all of us. We talk about economic development, and that is certainly a piece of that. So that's all I have.
I don't have much to report. I attended a dinner with the big first GOP party in Manhattan. Tracy Mann came in to give a legislative update. He went over a number of things. I asked about the farm bill, as I think some of us are probably curious where that is in the debt relief program. He told me that it should be moving through. That was basically the explanation I got. I sure hope that happens. As you guys, maybe you don't know, or if you do know, the ag industry right now with the dry weather, carryover of debt year over year. Last year, commodities weren't the best. It could be a tough year on ag if we don't get the right moisture and if commodities don't make a good turnaround. So I hope the federal government does something to assist there. And that's all the report I have for today. Moving on to petitions and proclamations, we have none. We will have Janelle read the public comment rules, if you would, please.
Commissioners, per the Open Meetings Act, KSA 75-4317 and 75-4318A, as the elected board, the county commission is not allowed to meet or make any decisions without posting the meetings. They are only allowed to act on items on the agenda which they set. During their regular meeting, the county commission may allow for public comments on items not listed on the approved agenda. It is at the discretion of the county commission if they allow comments on agenda items. If you wish to provide comments, please come forward to the podium and state your name and address. If you are online, raise your hand and we will unmute you. Please state your name and address. Each person may speak for 3 minutes. The allotted time will start after the speaker has given his or her name and address. Public comments shall be addressed to the county commission only and not to the speaker or the audience. Only the county commission will be permitted to ask the speaker questions. The public comment period is not a back and forth discussion with the county commission. You should make your views and input known to them, but it is not a time to ask them questions. You should not expect them to respond to your comments. Comments may express support or agreement with the previous speakers, but in the interest of time, please do not repeat the same information. You may state something to the effect of your name and address, and you agree with the previous speaker. It is important to maintain a respectful, non-threatening atmosphere for anyone who would like to speak. Please do not engage in such actions as cheering, booing, clapping, insults, threats, etc.
Thank you, Janelle. Moving on to reports from county officers, County Administrator Janelle Doctor.
I don't see any public comments online, so
Should I wait for public comments?
we can see if there is, or if anybody has any in the audience, but it doesn't look like anybody does right now, so.
I'll do that next time. Thanks.
No, you're fine. Commissioners, I don't know if you noticed, but we do have a broken window at the employee entrance, and that is being replaced today. They were mowing and a rock popped up and hit it, so took a little bit to get it in. It's double pane and tinted. So as we talked in the study session, the bids came in for the 1160 1100 Avenue Bridge that we had applied for the off-system bridge program with KDOT, and that's a 60-foot bridge that's being replaced. The application that we were approved for was 1.25 million, and the low bid came in at 1.264 110, and that was from L&M Contractors. So those dollars will be is the responsibility of the county in any other inspection fees that will come with that. So we're still anticipating between $180,000 $200,000 more on that. So the 800 radios are being distributed. All of the agencies have the portables and the mobiles are being installed. So that's a good thing. As Andrew told you in the study session, it's been a huge benefit to our responders. And so it was a good project. The MS director has interviewed for the RN position at the health department. He had a Zoom interview. He's got another one scheduled. So hopefully we can get that position filled, as last week was Jean's last day on Friday. We are laying soil on the east side of the courthouse, and we'll seed that, try to put in a nice stand of grass there and stop the dirt from blowing and that from over there on that side. The alarm monitoring service that has been provided by dispatch for the years is changing, and that is due to regulatory changes and to the AT&T decision to begin to remove copper phone lines. So we're discontinuing the alarm monitoring service through dispatch. That does not mean that the alarm systems will not be monitored at all. So letters will be sent out shortly to notify the current count holders of that so they can contact their providers for options. And we have met with the vendor here that locally is responsible for the majority of those systems, and they are expecting their customers to contact them. So probably within the next 60 days, we will have that completed. So just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of that. The other thing, good news, is we had a stolen vehicle that has now been recovered. So we don't know what the shape of it is but that was a 2006 Chevy pickup that had been stolen. So do you have any questions for me?
I do not. Commissioners?
Would you want to mention, or maybe Kenny was going to mention that as far as in the work study session that we had the applicants and.
Right. We had 2 applicants for the Planning and Zoning Board that you interviewed this morning. There will be another application, or we've received another application. The applicant will be here next Thursday for an interview again, and then you'll make a decision for the open position that we have on that board. And Tim is here, to answer any questions they might have on that. But it's a pretty important position on the Planning and Zoning Board for the county. So,
They were from more of the south part of the county, but that's something that we've intentionally tried to have some balance of people throughout the county. So it's just not one particular area, you might say.
That's correct. Yeah, because traditionally what we've done is, I know for a while we had an imbalance in Hamilton planning and zoning. I know for a while it was kind of imbalanced. We had more of a representation on the north part of the county and very little on the south. And so this will balance this out. I think we can get another person in the south part.
The two we had today were both excellent candidates.
Yeah,
It was great to have their application.
They're gonna make it hard. Thank you, Tim. Yeah, as Janelle said, we're gonna meet with another applicant next week and give an interview to them. I don't know if we'll make a decision next week. I guess that's a decision we might make on the fly. But if nothing else, I would like to say we'll make a decision by the following week. So within 2 weeks, I'd say we're gonna make a decision, or at least I'd like to.
and we'll keep the applications on hand and if we have another open position on the board. So
Absolutely.
reach back out to them and see.
Oh, that's that question. Do you have anything else to report, Janelle?
No.
If we could have County Councilor Doug Thompson.
Thank you. Next week I'll be part of the team that goes to Missouri for training for the recovery program that's going on. And we've made good progress, but we're going to go up and get some training, and it'll be not only in Missouri, but a number of other states that'll have crews and teams that'll be there. And so we're going to work through that. So I won't be here next Thursday. Won't get back until Friday from it. And the team's vested in it and doing a really good job. And it's a tough job to do because the people that are involved in it, it's just addictive drug and very, very tough. All right. Thank you.
Doug, and maybe this is a Tim question. I asked a question earlier on some of this hunting ground that's getting bought. And it's no longer being ag. I assume we're taxing it still at an ag level. Is there any provision within law that allows us to tax them at a commercial rate? To me, you're getting out of ag when you're hunting on land. You're letting it grow out of control, which causes a number of other issues. Noxious weeds is something that comes to my mind. I don't know if they're taking care of their noxious weeds. We can keep going down the line of what else that could impact. Is it applicable to charge them a little bit more tax to corner off a section of land just to hunt on?
We can come up with some research and see if that's possible.
Because it's said in statute how those are
Right.
supposed to be and what the classification is. And I sent a text to Lisa.
Okay.
She's in hearings, so hopefully I'll have some information, if not later this afternoon, then tomorrow, and I can send out to you on how.
I'll speak for the other commissioners, but I think we ought to look into it a little bit and I'm kind of with everybody else on this regard when it comes to misusing land. I hate seeing, especially 300 acres. That's a lot of land.
Yeah.
But I don't want to say they can't do it. I'm just saying if you're going to start a recreational business on your land, you should probably pay for it.
I suspect that'll be the case, but I can't give you a definitive answer.
Absolutely.
Without doing some research on it.
And there's some situations, I think, where people live on the land and then make it conducive
Right.
for hunting. And so they aren't, that's not the primary thing. But I think what Kenny's referring to, or at least my thought on that, is someone that only comes out maybe once or twice a year, and really they're absentee owners. They have and maybe they even allow groups on certain situations. So, I mean, if it's someone that's,
Hunting and.
yeah,
And just to caveat what these guys are saying, another side, I don't get offside too far much. The value of the land, I have some examples in our area when the industry has come up from the south, Texas, and bought land just exclusively for hunting, but it affected the land values. So producers can't pay that. They're paying a lot of money for the land, but producers can't pay that to come out with a profit. And so it escalated the value, the sell value, not necessarily the appraised value, but the sell value of that land has gone where they can't afford to buy it. So, yeah.
It could be that the taxing will be greater because of the use that they have.
Yeah.
We'll look into it this next week or so.
I think it's a worthwhile endeavor. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you.
Thank you, County Council.
I can see about having Lisa come up and talk about how the classification is. And in fact, I think next week is her opportunity to present. It's her turn to brief the commission. Where my right calendar here. It is. So we'll just stop her.
Let's do that.
Did you respond?
Email from her.
Uh-huh.
I don't have a lot. Just, we'd have to review it, but she's sending it. She sent some statutes and just mentioned that a lot of times they're unaware of how the land is being used. And so it really, I guess it depends on how the person purchasing the land really states that. She said a lot of times, most of the time it's CRP. And they just don't know what the use necessarily is on that land. But she said the short answer would be yes. So I think there'd probably be a lot more details she can provide next week. But there may be some opportunity to look into some of that.
Let's keep the discussion going.
We don't want to have an overreach on it either, but
Exactly.
but it's worth researching.
I completely agree. I'm going to move on here. With no notices or communications, we're going to jump right into consideration of resolutions. First resolution to consider is 032025 for the Quarry CUP 24-09. We heard about this last week. Really, today is probably more of a formality than anything, but I'm going to let Tim speak to that.
Yeah, I want to, Tim Hamilton, Planning and Zoning. I just wanted to brief you on what transpired since last Thursday's meeting. I did meet with both parties last week, or it was between the two of them, and they came to an agreement. There was a last minute, I wanted to kind of point out to you a last minute change to the map depicting the area to be mined. And this amendment has been signed on by all parties. And I do have the email confirmation of that. So I was going to give you all kind of a chance to look at this. So the map that you currently have attached to the resolution, if you so choose, would be superseded by this. Okay.
I don't want to summarize, but it seems like they decided to give them the middle area
The
here.
middle area, yes, yeah. It's a potential later on to, that may or may not, it just depends on what they see in that general vicinity, but it covers them in the event that they do find something. But with that, like I say, if you have any other questions of the applicant, he's here as well, but it's pretty straightforward. That's everything else. The text of the resolution has been initialed and signed off on by all parties.
So Mr. Walker, as well as
Yes. The Edwards.
Mark Edwards, the attorney, and his daughter have signed. I think we really got everything established last week, and it was great to see the parties come together and reach an agreement that was satisfactory to both, from what we could tell.
I have to agree. I don't have much comments. I think we've commented this thing pretty well out. Commissioner Roller, do you have anything?
I don't have anything. Thank you.
So I'd go ahead and make the motion that we adopt resolution 032025. This was the Core for the conditional use permit 24-09.
Do you have a second?
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Congratulations, Mr. Walker. Good job. Well, like they said, I guess I do have a comment. I think you guys, I don't know. I thought this entire thing worked out beautifully. I think everyone walked away with what they wanted, maybe a little bit different. But at the end of the day, we're not mad at each other. We're not going to have any grievances down the road, hopefully. That just makes it pretty smooth sailing. So best of luck to you, and hope it works out good for you guys.
And we need rock.
We do need rock. That is a fact. Moving on to the next item, we have resolution 032025A. This resolution is to install stop signs on Hawk Road and 1800 Avenue at the request of New Bern Township. Commissioners, you were provided this with an email and in your packet. I'll open it up for discussion.
So from what we could tell, there was no concern from the township. I mean, it's a request they have and no opposition per se.
They asked this time around, you know, we've looked at that intersection over the past 10 years, 3 or 4 times. And they didn't ever they always wanted to stop 1800 Ave. Slow that traffic down. But in the rule of flow of traffic, that road has to stay open and you would stop Hawk Road. And this time around, that's how they agreed it should be. And Hawk Road, by the way, has gotten busier over the last few years. You know, the people are driving and they're driving fast out there. And they're not slowing down, and a few close calls this last few months has made them agree to put some stop signs. Now, we also are putting stop ahead signs. They may not stay there forever because you can see, but we're going to make sure there's a stop ahead and a stop sign for them to get people used to stopping out there. The posts are already in the ground, and we'll have the signs up by this afternoon if that's the resolution. So.
Yeah. Go ahead. Is the county responsible for the signage?
No, that the township pays for these signs, and yeah, it is theirs and at their request and on their roads. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, we put them up for almost every township. Some of them go out and hand dig their own post holes, but yeah.
It just comes to the county commission because county commission is the one that controls the road.
Speed limit, stop signs. Yeah, they're the only governing body that has the right to do that.
Right. On my next question, what does it cost to put in stop signs? I'm just curious.
On a stop sign, a post, it's about $110. And then since we did 4 signs, they're only going to probably get 3 hours, but it's about an hour is what we charge on labor in the truck.
Okay.
On top of that, so $150. They go for a sign up. Yeah. So, no question.
Any more questions? Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the signage for the township.
I'll second that motion. Any more discussion?
And it is resolution 032025A.
Yep. Yes, sir. There's no more discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. You said you'll have that done today, you think?
I'm texting you right now.
Good man. Efficiency. I don't, sorry. With no unfinished business, we'll move on to other business. Am I supposed to have anything for the approval?
In there's the form
Sign.
we signed in there,
Okay.
should be with all the tabs. Yep. For the solid waste management plan. Yep.
I'll go ahead and open it up for discussion. Do we have anything to discuss on the approval of Dickinson County Solid Waste Management Plan? I know it was in our email. I can't find the.
I didn't make it, well, I didn't make a copy for everybody.
So this is something we do annually to review, and it's updated or anything taken off that doesn't need to be on there.
It's a requirement through KDHE, Kansas Department of Health and Environment. So, and we just review, like you said, the vendors that hold the trash, the tonnage that we've had, anything like that. So,
No basic changes.
There's
Yeah.
no change from last year.
right,
Nothing new.
No.
We're still using the same vendors.
yes.
Yes.
And there's a committee that does review it prior to that. It includes somebody from Harrington, somebody from Enterprise, somebody from the city of Abilene. Martin now will be on it, myself, and there's one other.
And I think every county does
And then-
this. So it's regulation, basically.
Regulation.
Check the box off.
Part of the operation of a transfer station. Yes.
I would move that we approve the Dickinson County Solid Waste Management Plan.
I'll second that. Do we have any more discussion on the matter? Excuse me. Seeing no further discussion, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. With that, we conclude today's meeting on March 20th, 2025, and I will call for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.